Hey there, Matt Weiner for Fade In, and in this video we're going to start our series on creating a custom GPT to analyze your screenplay in a factual way without generating any substance or making any suggestions. Before we start going into how to build a custom GPT, and I'll walk you through every step of that process, you have to take your screenplay and get it ready. Separate it into chunks, convert it into the right format, and then run it through something called a tokenizer to make sure the chunks are small enough for the algorithm to digest and analyze without getting confused and without hallucinating. So to show you how to do it properly, I'm going to take my script for the war film that I wrote, Hollow Men, and I'm going to walk you through how to chunk it out, how to save it, and then how to use Google Colab to run the tokenizer. There's a link in the description below to a notebook that I created for Google Colab that will run the tokenizer, but you still have to manually create the chunks to put into Colab. So let's start with that. For this demo, we're going to be using a original screenplay I wrote called Hollow Men. And we're going to be taking this script, chunking it up, and formatting it properly so that when we put it into Google Colab, it'll do the tokenizer and not have any issues. We're using Adobe Acrobat Pro. I don't know if the tools that I'll be using are available in regular Adobe Acrobat. If they are and you use them, let me know in the comments and I'll update everybody. But this is Adobe Acrobat Pro. The first thing you got to do is set up the PDF. If you go into All Tools and Organize Pages, this shows you all the pages in your screenplay. For chunking, I don't care about my title page or my second page, which is a quote. It's like a little I. So I'm going to get rid of those. For this script, I also have an appendix at the very end with the hierarchy of special forces and infantry. I don't need the computer to know that either, so I'm going to get rid of that as well. What that leaves us with is just the screenplay, and that's what we want to chunk. One of the issues that you'll run into when you do this is you export them as text files because that's the easiest, cleanest thing for ChatGPT to read. Plain text files don't take the page number with it. So you won't have the page number on the text file. The computer has no way of knowing where page 1 ends and page 2 begins. The only way to do that is to literally write the page at the top of each page so that the text file shows page 1, page 2, page 3. For screenwriting, obviously, we know how important it is to get the page number accurate because if we're hitting an inciting incident on page 11, or if we're asking the computer, is my beat sheet correct? Is my pacing correct? We need an accurate reflection of where things happen. And it's also important for things like character arcs and setup and payoff and how you move through the different acts, right? So we need our page numbers to be accurate. I found a workaround to this issue. Here's how you do it. Go back into All Tools, go to Edit a PDF, and go into Headers and Footers. You're going to add a header, and it's going to have the page number. But before you do Insert Page Number, go into Page Number Formatting, and I like it like this. I like having page 1 of n, so page 1 of 105. And I want it to start on page 1, obviously. I'm going to put it left justified because when you export to text, everything is left justified anyway. You're not going to look at your text file and see your character name centered and then a block of dialogue. Everything is left justified. Here's another thing you need to know. I've found that if you just have the page number there, sometimes the computer might read it as an action block. I put dashes before and after the page number, so there's no way that the computer can mistake it as anything but the page number. Final thing you have to do in order to get it to be accurate in the export, you have to change the font to Courier New, because that's what your screenplay is in, and size 12, because that's what your screenplay is in. So once you do that, the text, and you hit OK, and you can see up here, the text, I'm going to close out the editing. The header is the same text as the body of the screenplay. So when we export this, it's going to be clean and easy. Let's start chunking. Back into All Tools, back into Organize Pages. We're going to be doing 30-page chunks with a 4-page overlap. You want an overlap because when you put these chunks into the computer, It's going to look at them and it's going to stitch them together. By having that overlap, you're going to keep the computer from getting confused or ordering things the wrong way, and it's going to keep it nice and organized. 30-page chunks, 4-page overlap. So I'm going to select page 1, you see it's blue, go down to page 30, shift select, you can see everything that's blue, and you can also see up here pages selected 1 through 30. Extract. Don't worry about any of these options, just hit extract, and here we have a new tab with the 30 pages. I'm going to just double check everything. Down here, 30 pages. Up here, page 30 of 105. That all looks good. Reason I'm extracting and not just doing it from the main document is because I want to do that overlap, and it's just easier this way. This way I can see it and know that everything is being done correctly the first time around. Now we're going to go into File, Export a PDF, Text, Accessible, not plain. You need accessible text because that's going to carry the header into the export. If you use text plain, you're going to lose the header and it's not going to have the page numbers. So as text accessible, and if you want to run an example of this on your own, you'll see what I mean, but just trust me on this. So go text accessible, it'll open it up. I've already saved the chunks out, so I'm going to overwrite them. Page 1 through 30. Look at the file name. Script name underscore page 001, because we have over 100 pages, you need the 3 markers, to 030 dot text. You can see down here it's accessible text. I'm going to save it. Yes, I want to replace it. I'm going to open it up and I'm going to show you what it looks like. You can see here it starts page 1 of 105, page 2 of 105, and yeah, it still has that 2 there, so that did carry over. Yeah, look, it did carry over. But I am not going to trust that the computer is going to read this well enough to keep from getting confused. So I'm going to do it the way that I'm doing it. If you want to try it without it and just have the little 5 period there, let me know if that works. But this is going to be good for all of our pages all the way down to 30. See, page 30 of 105. Now I'm going to close this out. Don't want to save the chunks. Back into our main page here. I'm going to back up to page 26. Now, if for some reason you lost your organizer, you just go into All Tools, Organize Pages. I'm going to go from page 26 to page 60. Extract. Here I am, page 26. Export. Text accessible, page 26 to 60. Save, replace that. It's going to open it up and show me 26 to 60. Perfect. Close that out. I don't need to save that. And when I say don't save, you can see what it's saying. It's trying to save it as extracted pages as a PDF, but we saved it out as text. We don't need to save the PDF version of it. We just need the text version. So don't save. Back up 4 pages. So I'm going to start at page 56. I'm going to go to page 90. Everything is highlighted in blue. Extract, extract, file, export a PDF as accessible text. I'm doing 56 to 90. I'm going to check all the way down here. Page 90, we're good. Not going to save the PDF version because I have the text version. Last time I got to do it. Page 86, backing up 4 pages. 105, shorter chunk. Extract, export, 86 to 105. I'm going to double check, page 86, fade to black. We've got our chunks. What's the next thing that you got to do? Let's get out of PDF here. Let's get out of Adobe Pro. Close this up. Welcome to Google Colab. You can cancel out all that stuff. And here's where you're at. Don't worry about this. If you've never seen Google Colab, don't get overwhelmed. Don't worry about anything that's on the screen here. You don't need it because I'm going to give you the notebook. I'm going to file. I'm going to open the notebook by uploading it. So upload notebook. I'm going to browse and go right here. I have in my little Colab walkthrough, Matt Weiner token counter, notebook, open. This is in the description below. You can click on the link and download it, save it to your hard drive, upload it, and you're good to go. And you can even see here, here's the code. Here's what I wrote. Matthew Scott Weiner token counter for screenplay chunks. Here's all the instructions. If you want to look at what it's doing, you can. I don't know code. I don't know how to do coding. I created this through ChatGPT by prompting it until I got the output that I wanted. And then I told it, all right, generate the prompt that I need for the notebook in a sandbox, which is a separate window. I copied it, pasted it into Google Colab, and saved it. Don't worry about any of that. You don't need any of it. In order to run it, you have to hit the play button. So hit play. You can see it thinking. You scroll down to the bottom here. When it's done thinking, it's going to pop up, upload your chunks. There you go. Upload your chunk. Text files only. I'm going to select all of my chunks. It's going to automatically run them. And then here you go. It shows you page 1 through 30, 26 to 60, 56 to 90, 86 to 105. This is the important part. Token counts. I've got 11,820 tokens, 13,241 tokens, 13,083 tokens, 7,770 tokens. The important thing is that after each chunk it says okay, 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 okay. We're within our token limit, and then they have the total, which is 45,914 tokens. And I have here some notes. These are for you. Don't include any helper files. There's the ceiling to avoid context issues, and there's the chunk overlap. Those notes are for you in case you forget what you need to do. By having this run, we know that when we put it into our custom GPT, we're going to have enough tokens left over in the conversation to be able to ask the computer questions and have a robust conversation. All right, so that's it for chunking. Don't forget, in the description below is a link to the notebook that I use. Just upload it. Once you have it into Colab, you can always find it in Colab. But if you can't, don't freak out. Just go back into your desktop and re-upload that Colab notebook, run it, get your tokens. In the next video, I'm going to start talking about what the rubric, scorecard, and master prompts are going to be to build our custom chat GPT. Because once we build the custom GPT, all of the information that we're feeding it, like the master prompt, like the rubric, like the scorecard, that's all going to be stored in its knowledge base, which is separate from the conversation that you have. So the knowledge base does not take up token space. That's the beauty of a custom GPT. You're not putting these things into the chat and using up tokens just so that it can learn what it wants you to do. It's going to exist in its own space, and then you can have a conversation with it, clear it out. That knowledge is still there in your custom GPT. Boom. You can do another conversation for another script, or maybe you want to ask it different questions and you want to clear the cache, you want to clear the memory so that you don't have to worry about tokens, you don't have to worry about running out of space and hallucinations. That knowledge is always going to be sitting there. If you find any of this helpful, like, subscribe, hit the bell so that you're notified of any new content that I'm uploading. Comment if there are other things that you want me to touch on or discuss or that you're confused about, and we can have that conversation. Until next page, I'm Matt Weiner, and this is Fade In, Original Screenplays read by the author.